Okay, we're going to take a look at an app by Binary Labs, and this is their third app in the series of really fantastic apps that they've created. The first being Dexteria, then Letter Reflex, and now P.O.V, which is working on developing spatial reasoning skills. You can enter the settings for this app in the general settings on the iPad, and I'll show you that after I've showed you the demonstration. But to start off with, let's talk a little bit about reports. You can get reports on both activities, the Vantage Point activity and the Make a Scene activity. With those reports, you can email them, and then once you're done, you can clear those reports and start over again. So it's very nice to be able to keep the record of those for either people using this for therapy or school or even at home. So let's go ahead and have a look at the introduction and the exploration of this app, and I'm just going to go through this and let you see how it works.
Here's a top view of some objects. Drag the objects around the screen. Now tap a camera to see the side view of these same objects. Here's how the objects look from the camera you selected. Drag the objects around the screen again to see how they move in the camera view.
So we're looking from this camera.
Do they get bigger or smaller? Do they move left or right? Now tap a different camera to see how the objects look from that camera's point of view.
Looking from the top camera.
Can you drag an object away from the camera so it gets smaller? Can you drag an object towards the camera so it gets bigger? Can you drag it left or right? Can you hide the ball from the camera? When you are done exploring, tap the arrow key at the top of the screen to go back to the main menu and try a new activity.
Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the intro and explore. Use intro and explore to become familiar with viewing the objects from the different camera views. Choose a camera by tapping on it and then drag the objects around the screen to see how they move relating to the camera position. Using P.O.V on a regular basis will improve spatial reasoning skills. So let's go back out to the main screen and let's go ahead and look at Vantage Point. We'll continue on level 4. All levels are customizable, and you'll notice on level 4 we've already got 4 objects on the screen here. It starts off with 3, and you can have it stay like that, or it can get more advanced as you go through, and I'll show you that after, like I said. So the idea here is to figure out which camera view we're looking at from at the top here. So you can see we've got the blue box on the left. In fact, everything is on the left. And the purple box is behind the blue, and the ball is next to the purple box. So I'm going to say we're looking at it from this camera.
Right.
And we were correct. And you continue going through these exercises, hopefully getting them right. And again, I'm going to say we're from this camera here.
Good job.
Now, if you get one wrong, let's say we choose this one.
Try again.
You'll get a try again. It'll show you your answer and then the camera view. So you can work on that one as well. Let's go ahead and choose this one.
That's right.
You'll notice in the top that there is an elapsed time, 36, 37, 38 seconds. It will tell you your best time if you've gone through this before. If you haven't, then it won't show you because you won't have one.
Way to go.
Once you complete that, you'll tell you your accuracy, 80%. The time took 48 seconds, and you can move on to the next level, and even more objects are introduced into the scene, and so on. So it's really challenging, and it's not just challenging for children. This is actually challenging for me. I actually love to play with this because it makes it gives my brain exercise. It really is a challenge to think about where things are on the screen and when I'm looking at them. So let's go back out. And let's go ahead and have a look at Make a Scene. And again, you can customize this in the settings, and I'll show you that. We're on level 2. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a look at trying to make the scene at the top. So the camera view is from this camera, and it's got to look like this. So you basically have to try to recreate the scene, and you can have the sneak peek on and the sneak peek off and so on in the settings. We're going to leave it on for the demonstration. And we're going to try to recreate the scene that we see at the top. Let's check out that.
Good job.
Okay, and this is quite challenging to get used to the way the spatial awareness works. Really is a challenge, and like I said, I'm pretty much on the easy level right now. This can get a lot more challenging as you go.
Way to go.
Accuracy can be adjusted in the settings. It can be, you know, very, very picky, or it can be a little bit more lenient. The ball looks very tiny, so I'm going to say it's all the way back there.
Good job.
And you'll see level 2 complete 100%. That took me 1 minute and 3 seconds. You continue on to the next level and you start to get more objects, and that continues as you go through the app, and it is really challenging. The sneak peek is now turned off, and you can have that turn on or you can hide it. So you have the options of doing that, which is exciting because it's a challenge to try and create these without having the visual thing there for you. And it takes quite a bit of time to get used to.
Keep trying.
Getting it right. Now I put that together and I was totally the wrong way around, so I would have to change that around to match what we have there. And let's see if I'm any closer with this effort. Looks like I'm pretty close. You can hide that.
Good job.
And there we go. So it does take a little bit of getting used to, but that's the fun part of the whole thing. So let's go back out to the main screen, and that was a very quick demonstration of P.O.V, another fantastic app by Binary Labs, the maker of Dexteria and Ladder Reflex. So let's now go ahead and have a look at the settings in the general settings on the iPad. And you'll see that in the app section here we've got P.O.V down here, and you come up with the two options. So Vantage Point, level 1, level 2, level 3, 4, 5, all the way up to level 10. And you can change anything from the number of turns, the number of balls, number of squares, landscape rectangles, portrait rectangles, pyramids, and so on. So very exciting stuff. The more you go through it, it really does become a challenge. Going back out to looking at making a scene, you've got the horizontal sensitivity and the vertical sensitivity, so you can adjust that compared to how precise you really want to be, how picky you want to be when you make the decisions. And again, 10 different levels of options here. Show sneak peek optional. You can change that to on, off, or optional. Number of turns, 4 turns. Again, you can change that anywhere up to 10 turns. And then you have things like number of balls all the way up to 5, number of squares, landscape rectangles, portrait rectangles, and number of pyramids. So you could make the scene extremely challenging, which, believe it or not, is really a lot of fun to do. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was a quick review of P.O.V by Binary Labs, and they've done it again. They've made another really great app.